Okay, Steph, we're gonna talk about, you remember that stuff? Stop staring at them.
I couldn't help it.
Oh, come on. Alright, I guess today we're gonna talk about what is gonna make Germans
Stare at you.
Tell me what you want. This time I won't take it to the heart. 'Cause I know we won't make it out. I've heard it all before. Yeah, tell me what you want. Let me hear it. I'm the only one. I know that we won't make it out. We've heard it all before.
It's amazing. Hallo Leute!
What is going on, guys?
Welcome back to a new episode. We are Steffi and Shlomi.
We keep switching spots.
It doesn't matter because we are Steffi and Shlomi. It doesn't matter who is who, right?
She's Shlomi, I'm Steffi.
So the Germans have a reputation for staring at you. But is it really true? Do you feel like the Germans are staring at you?
Oh yeah.
I'm a native German. I'm born and raised in Berlin, and I notice it myself. Yes, the Germans, obviously it doesn't count for every German. I do not stare at people. I'm
Not at
trying
all.
not
She's
to.
never doing that.
No, for real.
Yeah, for real.
But I know that I definitely have been stared at some time in my life. And I heard from others, from friends that are non-Germans, that they notice it as well.
To be honest, it's pretty simple. We're gonna go through many of the cases where you're gonna get stared at and you should probably avoid doing. But bottom line is, if you're doing something that you're not supposed to do, then you're gonna get stared at.
You will definitely get punished with an evil stare.
I learned my lesson, so now I'm teaching others by staring at them. Okay, one of the most common reasons to get stared at is jaywalking. This is something you should just not do. And you know, we live in Berlin and we see it all the time. But to be honest, it's not everyone, right? You would see people jaywalk all the time,
Right.
Germans.
So I agree with the fact that if you cross a red light, and it's a busy street, people would stare at you. But if the street is not busy, there are not many cars or no cars at all, I think it's like in any other country, we would jaywalk. But if the child is standing at the street waiting for the green light and you would jaywalk, even though it's busy, you don't do that. If there is a child, you are a good example and you wait. And if you don't do it, I will stare at you.
Another one that is really common that I see, and I also did that in the beginning of my time in Germany, is going onto the train before you let people leave.
I mean, it just makes sense, right? The train is full. You go inside before they can leave. The train is just getting fuller and they cannot find their way out because the trains in Berlin and in Germany in general can be very crowded. So actually, I think a stare is not enough here.
I just didn't know. I didn't know better. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
Another reason why you get stared at, and it might not be a strong stare, but the Germans will definitely look at you, is if you address someone with the wrong formality. So for example, if you use du instead of sie and the other way around. So for example, if you go to university and then you use sie to a classmate, which actually happened to me. There was a girl, she was I think from Poland, and she used sie on us. We were like a group. And everyone was like, we were quite
Say what,
polite,
girl?
we didn't want to correct her. But yeah, stares definitely happened back then. And if you do it the other way around, and this is even worse, if you use du instead of thee, because this is kind of disrespectful for some people, you will earn some stares.
Yeah, this still happens to me a lot. When I use du instead of sie, they don't like it. But I don't understand. We're all equal. We're all the same. Love and du.
But actually in Berlin, we are not that strict. Like we would use du, the informal you, many times. When you talk to a waiter, for example, you can use du. But it always depends, like you need to feel the vibe.
Right, another one that's gonna get you in troubles is talking too loud.
Too loud.
Steffi is actually very loud all the time. It's
Stimmt
driving me
nicht.
nuts.
Das stimmt nicht.
Talking loudly is actually one of the reasons to get stared at. Germans are mostly calm and relaxed unless they say Schmetterling. I can see it in many places. I go to restaurants, cafes.
But also the train, for example.
And the train, that people are very polite. They don't speak loud. So sometimes I'm, just rushing into a place and start talking very loud. And I'm like, oh shit. Is this,
why do they stare?
Am I getting the stares again? Yeah, so that's another reason. Just keep your voice down, I guess. I mean, you don't have to. I mean, you enjoy the stares. I mean, it's that's part of being in Germany. Is like embracing it.
The Germans, they tend to be a bit quieter than other countries, especially in a train. You talk to a neighbor very quiet, and sometimes you have people from different cultures, and they would talk louder just because it's in their culture, and in their train maybe it's much fuller and they talk loud. But if you don't do it here because it's not the normal standard in a train, people stare at you. Why is he talking so loud? We usually don't talk here so loud.
Yeah, actually another one that is similar is approaching strangers on the street or in the train. Right? So you would go to someone and ask, Entschuldigung, wie spät ist es? Excuse me, what is the time? The person you asked is going to be very confused. It's like, who are you?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this is obviously an exaggeration.
Obviously.
But you do see it from time to time.
You see it if someone would start a very obvious small talk. So for example, someone is reading a book and then someone would approach the other person and ask, oh, what kind of book are you reading? Do you like it? Would you recommend it to me? And then the person would be like, why are you talking to me? I'm reading my book here right now. Maybe they wouldn't say it, but they would stare at you.
I totally support talking to strangers. Maybe you'll find your next love when you ask what time it is. Why not? Just give it a try. You never know what's gonna happen.
But just don't ask when you're wearing a watch or something.
That's how I met Steffi.
That is not true.
That's not true. But, give it a try. All right, the next one on the list.
The next one.
The next one.
One situation that you definitely get stared at is when your children cry, when they are loud and when they are annoying. I know kids cry all the time. Me personally, I don't mind, but there are many people that mind, unfortunately, because apparently they forgot that they have been kids themselves and they are so annoyed about it and they would just stare. Oh, she doesn't know how to raise a kid, they don't listen to her, they're very unbehaved, blah 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 blah.
I mean, kids are not supposed to cry or have fun or, disobey their parents. That's just how it is, right? Like, we're creating... This is basically creating a kid right now.
That's how it works.
Yeah, you put it in a box, you ship it, boom. That's, some people see it that way, but no. Let your kids cry and enjoy it. Kids, don't stop crying. Cry it till you make it. I think that's a sentence. All right, guys, the next one on the list. This one is quite a funny one. I don't know how to deal with this. Let's talk about saunas, all right?
Yeah, I don't know we don't know if you heard about it, but the Germans love their freie Körperkultur, means free body culture.
They like it all free and stuff.
They like it naked and also in their saunas. And because everyone is naked in the sauna, if you would show up in a bathing suit, in a bikini or swim trunks, then obviously you get the evil stare, because if everyone is naked but one person, it's a bit awkward, isn't it?
Yeah, you're making it awkward, right? Like, you can see all of the stuff and they cannot see,
your stuff.
It's just, you're not equal anymore. And then that's kind of weird, I guess. I'm having a hard time getting used to this, to be honest. I like my privates private. But each to his own.
But to be fair, you don't have to get used to it. Like, it doesn't mean you need to come to Germany and you have to be naked.
Oh, you do have to be naked.
You might see some naked people from time to time, but you don't have to go to the sauna, for example. Just if you go to a sauna, go naked.
Yeah, that's actually funny, because you would expect, for example, going to the lake, sometimes you would see naked people among, the rest of the people.
Topless,
topless or something. And I would think that they would get stared at, but no one is staring at them. I'm like, what is this even like? How does it work? I mean, I'm like, am I the only one seeing this? It's just different culture, and it's interesting to see how Steffi
Me?
grew up in a very different culture than I did.
Right.
All right, guys, and I think the last one on the list has to be probably the most notorious mistake you can do and get stared at is cutting the queue. Whew.
Don't you do it. I mean, who does that, right?
Yeah,
you're
that's-
waiting patiently in line and you're waiting for 5 minutes already and someone comes and just stands in front of you.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a reason why I wait 5 minutes. So if you pass me and cut my line, then obviously you get a stare from me like, what? Excuse me, sir?
Sir.
Lady.
Yeah, she's getting worked up about this. So you're gonna get more than a stare, right? You're gonna get like some,
Steffi power.
like,
Oh, yeah.
kind of like,
Definitely.
yeah, yeah, but nothing more like, It's just kind of one of these things you just don't want to do, I guess. I see what you mean. Alright guys, thank you very much for tuning in for today's video.
Don't forget to subscribe and activate the bell so you won't miss any videos in the future. And also give us your thumbs up because it means so much to us. It motivates us so much to continue in the future. And leave us a comment. Let us know if you liked our video or if you have ideas for new videos in the future. We like to read it all, and I would say we finish this video with a little staring contest.
Ooh, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Mach's gut, Leute.
Macht's gut, Leute.
Oh my god.
Oh,
my
thank
shit.
you.
I lost. That was quick.
Tschüss.
You're gonna lose so bad. Okay. I think it's enough for today. Thank you very much.